This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We infuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Hello. Slight cough, guys, but it's me, Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe, the host of this wonderful podcast, Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We're doing very well, but we need your support. We aim to get to 100,000 subscribers and beyond. So we can only do that with your help, guys. I'm sorry I'm not providing content that titillates and fascinates in a very pornographic manner, but nevertheless we provide exciting content. And I do have a guest who's going to excite you and talk about these issues. An author, multiple author. His name is Tumelo Sitayela. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thanks, Mogobe, and it's such an honor and a great privilege to be in the midst of you and in the midst of this platform and your great team, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah. But before we start our conversation, let me just ask the viewer to strike that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Sir, give us an introduction in terms of who you are and what your educational background is like.
It's a question that I really wish to answer or comment on, because I feel that it sets a precedence to how people can actually accept or view you. But nonetheless, what I usually say is that Tumelo Sitayela is a Motswana youth, a Kalanga boy, that comes from a place or a ward called Pambuka ward. It's in between Masunga and Mosojane. So I usually feel that they jealously just put us under Mosojane, but to us we could just be a village on its own. Yes, but nonetheless, Tumelo is a guy that went through his schooling in Botswana. Currently a student of BSc in Law and Policing. I'm quite a security fanatic in as much as I love issues that do with the society. But also there are other things that I do, like I'm an author, I'm a speaker, and there I do security advice. And still in that, I'm also an employee in one of the law firms around here in Botswana, where I do debt collection as well as the business development and events.
You seem to be very, very multifaceted. So I want to start with your main gig. What would you say is your main gig or your main vocation or work?
Yes, my main vocation, depending in terms of if you look at where my bread is being buttered, on a daily basis, I wake up to go to the law firm and do the debt collection and the business development. But at the end of the day, I'm a man of diversity, like I said. At ad hoc basis, when I'm out of work, that's when I engage on my books. I write my books, I sell my books, I go out, host events, I go speak in events. Given a chance, though it's been a while, I think I did my security advices and gigs with high profiles. Just before COVID, that's when I had to stop that a bit. But it's something that I'm coming in heavy into it as well.
Okay. So the side gig seems to be growing to the point where it might overtake the main gig.
Yes, the main gig is all about, you see, I usually say that your gift is what you live up for. And you need avenues to actually finance your dreams and your gifts. So you cannot. One thing I've learned about life is that no matter how much you may try and push in your path of gifting, at times you find that you are gifted in an area which is not common to many, or which many cannot believe in at an infant stage, such that if you try to pursue it with your own money from your own pocket, at times can actually become a challenge, such that it becomes even a burden to you. Something which is supposed to be a blessing actually seems to be a burden to you. But when you've got a revenue that you see on a it can keep you going on a day-to-day basis. So that's what we look forward to. But those are just there to those are stepping stones, stepping ladders, stepping ladder steps that we actually step on to actually reach out to or see beyond the horizons.
Authorship seems to be, from where I'm sitting, the main thing you are doing, because we have these 3 books that you wrote. How did you become interested in writing?
Yes, I'm a person that takes my thoughts seriously. One of the problems that we have as humanity, or particularly as indigents of this region, we find that we take our thoughts very light, such that we wait for someone to announce us. We wait for people to recognize us so that we can at least be taken seriously. This is why you find that in our communities we have got a lot of popular people that have got no substance or character, because they have been announced in a stage without substance. But those that have got substance are waiting to be announced before they can actually secrete or eject into the space of impact. So what I then did was that I sat down. I was like, you know what? This is the thought that I have, because I believe that you don't just have thoughts. It's what you are thinking and what I'm thinking. Chances are that we could be the only ones that are thinking of that. And to me, it's an entrustment by God or by some divine power that, you know what, I'm entrusting you with this thought. So then give it birth, give life to it, and ensure that it reaches the masses. So this is why I never take my thoughts for granted. Mind you, I've never done literature. Even my path has never been, I've never been anywhere related at school. So I've been a brainy, like I told you. So all I do is take my thoughts seriously. I analyze social issues and see what could this be. I'm a person that, those are 3 books. My first book is called Intimacy with the Future. It's so pornographic, even from the title, Intimacy with the Future. It speaks of intimacy, going beyond what you see, going deep skin. So I'm a person that interrogates concepts. What other people may live up to just on the surface, I seek to go deeper into that.
If you didn't do literature, and if you were not inclined towards literature, what was the spark that caused you to start writing?
The spark, I would say, in fact, the issue has always been, I've always wanted to be heard. I've grown up in many platforms. Those that know me, I've been a student leader for quite some time. I've gotten into trouble on the basis of trying to advocate or show on the platform that indeed this is how things are. So I think that my first book, Intimacy with the Future, I actually wrote it in 7 days at the peak of depression.
Really?
Started penning it, arranged it, and ensured that it was ready for printing in 7 days.
Yeah. So it was therapeutic.
It was. Here's the thing. My nickname is Soldier. I'm a warrior. I fight for humanity. I try to ensure that I protect the weaker ones around me. If somebody is not heard, I try to find means to say, you know what, if this person is not heard, what can I do for them? So I think with me it has always been my pain has always been a blessing in disguise. Because it has always been, if I'm feeling this pain, or if things are paining me this way, how about other people? Or how about one that will come in at a later date and fill my shoes? Would there be anything that will rescue them or assist them?
Yeah. You work with lawyers. Is there any chance that you might end up as a lawyer yourself?
No. There is no chance that I would ever see myself before any magistrate, judge, or being a lawyer at some point. No, it's just generally just not my thing.
It's not in the list of your...
It's not in the list of my thing. But one thing that I live up to and that I will capacitate myself to have is understanding and knowing the law. Actually, there's a chapter in one of the books, I call it The Law. The importance of a man knowing and understanding the law. Yeah.
Speaking of books, let's take them one by one.
Yes, sir.
I have in front of me Campus.
Yes, sir.
This is the book Campus.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about the thinking behind the book and what it's about.
Yeah, this book I wrote it just in the commotion of the 2019 elections. Yeah, so it's all about the Botswana national anthem. Mind you, I stand proud and say that chances are that I'm the only man in the world that has ever decoded a national anthem. And in African societies, in fact, just humanity has always used song to provoke the spiritual realm, to provoke some spiritual energy. And as a result, you realize that we become what we announce, either in song or in poetry or in statements that we make. So you realize that in other countries, whenever they sing the national anthems, they sing them with pride, and some actually even shed tears because emotionally they connect with the spiritual energy as well as the understanding of the words that are being sang in that song, the lyrical content. But unfortunately, it then became a problem for me when I realized that my country fellow men, they just sing it for the sake of singing it, and there is no honor in that. But however, all serious decisions are made on the platform of what would have ignited with the song. So I then decoded every line. Every line is a chapter. I went in there and tried to seduce and decode to find meaning as to what that could actually mean.
I don't know what's happening. Maybe a bit of dust is
Yeah.
So what was the rationale?
So here's the thing, because totally we are where we are as a country because of what we have always sang in the national anthem. Us living on the true cause of those words could be the reason why we are here as a nation. And us living, of course, the words that we sing could be the reason why we are where we are now.
The first part, it says Fatsileno la Rona.
Yes.
Decode that for me.
Fatsileno la Rona, there's a popular line. I mean, there's a statement that could get us in trouble.
Literally means this is our land.
This means when we sing it, we usually say, Fatsileno la Rona, this is our land. The question then, that's a statement of ownership. There's a line I put up in there to say that those that enjoy the benefits of this land is people that have lived up to the responsibility of the statement, the true ownership of the land. You see, and those that feel that they are suffering and they feel that the land belongs to certain people, these are people that have lived out of ignorance. What am I saying, Mr. Mogobe? All I'm saying is that
they have disowned the land.
They have disowned or they have lacked the responsibility. Yeah. Ownership comes with responsibility. Yeah. When you own something, we can look at your phone. Yeah. When you own something, there's a level of care that you give it. Yeah. You have a yard, you put an electric fence around it. Let's say you have a phone. Every time you're curious where your phone is. When you have a girlfriend, when you have a wife, you ensure that she eats, she develops, she looks good. Now replace that with a nation. For everyone that feels that they're not living into to the true sense of the statement of Fatsileno la Rona, the question would be, to what extent are you curiously on check about what is happening in the land? Or everything that happens, it's a surprise to you? And does that mean that those that take advantage of it are people that are taking advantage of you? Or it's an issue of you not taking responsibility by virtue of you being ignorant on what you care about? And the question is that really true love?
So are you urging people to be intentional when they sing it?
People should be intentional, understand it, and live up to the words.
And of course, it continues to say, gifted to us from God's strong hand.
Exactly. The significance of the right hand. The right hand of God, or the right hand side, which does
the song usually say the right hand?
Some could actually say, because there are many translations. Some translations say the right hand, some translations say the right side. So the right side, it means the preferred side, the royal side, the most secured and the precious side of God. So that is why I call it dextera domini. Yes, there's a Latin word that I use, a phrase that I use there, dextera domini, which basically means that we are preferred. Nations have always looked at Botswana and said, you see, this is a great land. There are no wars, there is nothing. Chances are that it's because of what we have always declared in the national anthem. And God recognizes us as that. But then, do we realize that as a people? And are we living in line with what the very same God who has preserved us for this long actually condones?
To decode it like you did it require you going back to the original author, Dr. Motsepe?
No, I didn't go to the original author, which is Dr. Motsepe, because when we actually sing the song every time, we are not required to go to him.
But I mean, did you have to research?
Yeah, actually, I didn't go into the reasons why the song was written. I actually then decoded what I was expected to sing every time I found myself in a public area, in an official space.
Yeah, speak to heritage and speak to the part where it says awake, oh man, awake.
Exactly. Heritage I usually liken to the very same heritage. I mean, Mogobe, you have got your sons and daughters. This land is a heritage from our forefathers. Our forefathers, now there is something about heritage. You might have not worked for it, but there's a certain expectation by those that came before you to ensure that you multiply the very same heritage. Wherever they are, they should smile and say that what I left for you, you managed to multiply it, or you have shown some sense of responsibility. Should you depart now, Mr. Mogobe, where you are as an ancestor, as you look down, would you smile looking at how your descendants are actually treating or controlling whatever that you left for them? Let's in terms of estate. So as a people of our land, how we are behaving now, from all ranks, from the lowest to the highest in terms of leadership, as well as the community, are we behaving in a manner in which those that came before us and have set the foundation can actually look down on us and be proud? So heritage speaks much on, I delve much on showing people and visualizing the reality of homo ke boswa. But how are we behaving? You might have not been there, you might have not worked for it, but those people have actually put in so much work. They usually say that we are the dreams that our ancestors have always wished to have, but have never had within that time of living.
And then why should women arise, whereas men are awake?
Awake, oh man. You see,
and women arise, energized.
Exactly. You see, our national anthem says it speaks on a lot of current issues that are being discussed in the diaspora, as well as many platforms where we stand, and many of them there have been a lot of misconceptions that have been brought around these issues based on various global systems that are trying to flush whatever agenda that they're trying to flush in. But our national anthem calls on a balance. All right, it calls on a balance. Awake. You see, thieves do not come and destroy any land when it is daytime. They come when it is most darkest. And whenever you are sleeping, that is when you are attacked. The ills that we are finding in our society are on the basis of a sleeping masculinity. Slumber. When you sleep, that's when the enemy attacks. We are under attack as a nation because our men are sleeping. They are failing to take responsibility.
Give examples.
Give me every week where we stand in Botswana, an average of 2 deaths of men, either via suicide or they have killed someone. Give me any robbery that's happening around. Give me any form of failure that is going around. Give me any social ill.
There's a man involved.
Those are men that are being involved. We can call that irresponsibility, but who are supposed to make that man? It's an issue of ages. That's when now we go into conversation between father and son and shallow grave lamentations of sons to mothers. And then energized, we are also speaking of women. Women need to rise up and understand that they're not competing with men, but they need to play their role in a sense of a womb. There's something very strong and particular about women. A woman herself, she is in similitude to a womb. Whatever she's given, she multiplies and ensures that it grows. She creates an environment of that. All right, she's not there to compete.
No.
Yes, but the current setup that we have actually brought, we are making women to live off their wombs, and we want to put them into behaving like the products of a scrota.
Explain that in simple English.
In simple English, we are trying to make or push women to become men and to compete with men. That is, we are taking women out of operating from their true nature as women. And
as naturals.
As naturals, we are moving them away from that, and we want to make them to operate in an area where they are not really truly capacitated for that. They don't generate seed, but the incubators of seed and release it in due time. This is why, as a Mogobe, all you may have is just a vision, but a woman will ensure that vision has the fertile ground, and she may guide you through it, such that you may have had a vision of building such a massive facility, but a woman will ensure that the facility comes to reality, and it becomes a real building that you have always visualized. A woman in her true sense, in terms of capacity, in her nature, not just a woman because you wear a dress.
I understand what you mean, but say behind every great man there's a woman.
Is a woman.
Yeah. You speak of cogwheels and ace cards.
Yes.
What does that mean in simple English?
Yeah, cogwheels and ace cards. Look at our coat of arms. Look at much of what happens here. I'm talking much of the civil servants. I'm talking of the structures that actually ensures that our engine as a nation moves. These are our civil servants. These are our leaders. These are everyone, stakeholders, the private sector, everyone that is involved. We have the national interest at heart. We are just doing it for the sake of doing it. Mind you, our nation does not progress on the basis of any political party. Whether today is the BDP, tomorrow is the UDC, tomorrow it's yours, Mogobe General Party, it's Tumelo Freedom Fighter. Our nation does not progress on that. But there is a certain character of the people, which are the cogwheels, that ensure that right now, whether it's the soldiers, their code of conduct, the modus operandi, you go to the health sector, those are things that run our nation.
And the ace card?
The ace card is the good name of fame. The ace card is the good name of fame. What sells everybody is the name that you built, the reputation that you've always built. So how we are known is what will sell us at the table. Right now we are known as a diamond country. Are we living up to that? There are certain nations that are known to be war zones. That are known that if you see these people of a particular, okay, fine, it's not a secret. Right now, there's a perception about, for instance, about Nigerians. You get the point, because of the precedents that some have said that have gone ahead. When you see
small minority,
has spoiled the name. You get the point of the whole nation. So everyone that goes out, everyone that leaves, they need to know that they are bearing the ace card. If they mess up, then they know that they have messed up the reputation of the land, and that can cost us at any point.
Yeah. And you mentioned Boto. What is the context?
The context of Boto is not Maitseo. The problem that we have always had is that we have mistaken Boto to be Maitseo. No, Boto is not Maitseo. Boto is how we relate. It's Ubuntu. It has got a lot of factors in there that is sympathy, empathy.
So it's a lot deeper than
how we appreciate it. Boto is a statement that you as a Mogobe, right now, if we are at lockerheads in a conversation, you start saying that this young man hana Boto. No, there is Maitseo and there is Boto.
Yeah. But Maitseo is a subset of Boto.
Maitseo is a subset of Boto. And it's something that is very subjective. Yes, to a group of people. What people on the south feel is Maitseo is not what people on the north.
Although there's some general similarities.
Exactly, but for sure there will always be general similarities.
Okay, did you then move from campus to father and son? No, you started with father and son.
No, I actually started with campus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I started with Intimacy with the Future, went into campus, and then a year later, I went into Conversation Between Father and Son.
And tell me about the inspiration for Conversation Between Father and Son.
Well, I stand out as one person that is passionate about masculinity. That is passionate about, mind you, I've always said that I will always propagate in the direction where the weakest people are, or the people that cannot advocate for themselves find themselves being taken advantage of by those that may be there at that particular time, thinking that, or being strong. You get it? So, Conversation Between Father and Son. I felt the society has always been on a concept, on a trajectory of bashing men, the fathers that left and stuff like that.
Because you see, everybody talks about them. Nobody talks to them.
Nobody
talks to the father, nobody talks to the son.
Lovely.
But they talk about them.
Everybody talks about them. So everyone can talk about you, Mogobe, but it will take great strength and maturity for someone to come to you and say, you know what, I need to hear you out. What is it that could be causing you to actually engage in this line, to engage or behave in this manner? So Conversation Between Father and Son, I was basically setting a platform to say, you know what, fathers need there is need to engage with sons. Sons right now, they don't have their fathers. And they long for a voice that could be masculine, a voice, a role that could engage with them in a platform that they can actually understand what they're going through as sons. As well as fathers that actually have also left. Some wish to engage with their sons, and some may be rogue. There are many various reasons why fathers are not present. But I believe that some may be there, but lacking a bit of conscience that could they have a platform, a chance to listen to their sons, they could do things better. So the book, when you read it, you realize that there is a chapter where the initial chapter speaks to, it's where the son speaks to the father. The next chapter is where the son speaks to the son, just like that. So I touch on various issues, diverse issues, whether it's marketplace or whether, now in that, I bring a bit of my experiences in there. I don't have a son, but I bring a bit of my experiences. Like you speak of the law, I touch on.
A father?
I don't have a father.
Oh,
I don't have a father, unfortunately.
Okay,
yes,
because he's passed on.
I don't even know him, unfortunately. Yes, I happen to be some of the products of a single mother, products that don't know their fathers.
Single parent household.
Yes,
being a mother.
Yeah.
So can we then relate the book to your personal experience?
Not. Here's the thing. In this one, I clearly came out. I think I was perusing it through before I actually came here and realized, oh man, I'm such a good writer. Yeah, I just praised myself. I had to say that, no man, the guy that wrote this is quite good, because I could feel the emotions. Because the way I write down my stuff, I want people to feel the emotions. And mind you, it was forwarded by Joshua Maponga Marara III. Yes,
he's been a guest on this show.
Lovely, such a great man.
He is.
So in this book, I try to put in some of my experiences, which are common.
Indeed, he calls himself Joshua Mapongo the Third,
Marara the Third. Yes. So, one thing that I've actually done, I've tried to put in some of my experiences, which I felt that they were similar across board, across the male men in our society, that every boy child would want to hear about, whether you talk women, whether you talk sex, whether you talk money, you talk. Right now there are very few fathers or elder men that can talk to their sons about the errors that they made during that time. You standing here, Mogobe, you cannot talk about your phase when you had a couple of young women that you engaged with. God forbid, maybe allow me to say that if you have a concubine, had a concubine at some time, you can't come out explicitly to your son and say, hey son, you're getting married, or if you decide to get married, hey, these are some of the errors that I made. You're planning to go into business, my guy. There was a time
that I share a lot.
Now here's the thing: the error that parents make is that they share a lot on the marketplace, but they share less on what makes their sons.
No, but if they open up and they ask, we try and give them information.
Now, at times you don't have to wait for your sons to open up. You are the one to create a platform.
There's a chapter which intrigued me when I was preparing for this show, which says, "Son, avoid spiritual nudity."
Yes.
What does that mean?
You love it. You see, life is spiritual. We deal with spiritual energies on a daily basis, and everyone subscribes to a spiritual authority. Whether they show it or they don't show it, whether they have a talisman or they don't have a talisman, everyone subscribes to a spiritual authority. Now, do not be mistaken and think that people are doing things clean and normal when you see everything clean. You see my phone clean like this. You never know where it sleeps. Maybe it sleeps in a small clay pot somewhere, and that clay pot I expect it to give me money every morning, or I expect to get good calls every morning. Don't expect that you get into love on the basis that you have admired someone. Someone could have actually used juju on you. Someone could have actually taken your name to a pastor and prayed for it, or keeps your name in the middle of Bible pages. That's spirituality. However we engage is different. So you should never go out to the world nude or naked. Go out to the world. Now, this is the error that people make. Mogobe, families are different. I may be here. The person that has secured the 3 generations of my lineage could have been my great father, grandfather. But right now may seem to be living just life as normal and thinking that everything is normal. No, chances are that it could be because of a sacrifice that he's speaking that was done 3 generations before me.
Yeah.
And you come to me and you think I'm just okay, and you just live normal.
And describe nudity.
Nudity. I told you that life is pornographic. Chances are that had I said ensure that you pray, it was just going to be just a normal statement. But nudity, I speak to nakedness. You cannot move through life unprotected or naked without some sort of jabber.
You embrace the biblical verse that we fight, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and powers.
True that.
Because I think that's part of the point. You're saying don't engage the marketplace without spiritual armor.
Becky, without a spiritual armor. Really do not engage in life without a spiritual armor. Life. Life, wherever you go, life. This is why you find that another person buys a car, you find a very luxurious vehicle under one hill somewhere in the bush, and people are busy chanting there. The man has gone there for some higher insurance and a higher power to insure his car. And you buy your car, you just come here, you dance, you go and show it to everyone in the village. Next thing, you don't return from there. We hear that you had a tire burst and you overturned with the vehicle into a very massive accident. And you're wondering why you. You shouldn't wonder why you. The question should be, what have you done?
Son, be the price.
Son, be the price. There's what every son should be taught. There's what masculinity should be taught. Go out there and put up on your A game. Go out there and be the best.
Price CE, not price ZE.
Yes.
The difference.
Prize
is as in an award. Price, this is a prize I won. And price is the cost.
Yes.
So which one are you referring to here?
All I'm saying in that line, the issue is when you go out there, be the price, be the standard. Is the price of the tag. When they say we are looking for, have you been in any meeting? I mean, you have got a lot of people under you, and I believe at times when you get to the meeting, you cite examples with certain employees and say, you know what, Mogobe, be like Tumelo. I want you to let people do things after you. Become the kind of person that everyone wishes the way you. Be so unique in a sense that in terms of execution, implementation, whatsoever, let there be your signature in there. When people read a book, let them feel that I've read books, but there's a way this guy writes. There's something in this. The way you charm ladies. I mean, let's bring it to a normal platform. I mean, you can say I love you.
To a lady.
To a lady. Every lady has heard that. I mean, it's an evergreen subject that they sleep up to it every evening. But there's a special I love you. There's a way you can express an I love you such that it becomes so irresistible to a lady such that she gives you her ears and sets you or gives you a chance. So you are given a chance on the basis of your price. That is building capacity. Capacity.
And you say the problem is that some fathers, why are you so diligent with your beverage consumption?
Exactly.
This is the consistency with which the father goes to a pub. So the son should raise that with the father. Yes.
This is where now, why are you so diligent? I just had to put it out there as a question. But in all essence, what I was saying was, son, ensure that you manage your desires or your passions. I used alcohol as a subject, but in all essence, what I was saying was ensure that you manage your passions. Passions could be sex, passions could be alcohol, because if you don't manage your passion, if you don't manage your intake, you're going to end up in trouble. We have had a lot of guys that have gone to prison on the basis of having killed people or fought and claim that they were not in the right state. They were under the influence of alcohol. Fatal accidents where they got onto wheelchairs, where they were bedridden and stuff because they did not control such a passion at that particular point in time. So it can destroy a lot of things. Finances it can destroy, such that you go there, you start spending everything. But you need to know how you engage on your passions and manage your passions at every particular point in time. Sir.
And what is social capital?
Your social capital is basically about how you relate with the society. Yes, all human beings are not islands. You do not live alone in this world. This is why we speak of networking. How do you relate with the people around you?
Okay.
As you live as an individual, you need to know how to relate with people that are around you. Understand the environment. Develop social skills. Know how to penetrate the society and know how to get the society to penetrate you. Know how to get what you want from the society and know or have the capacity to allow them. And in allowing them, you need to know how far.
At first, I thought you may be hinting on social media.
You see, the social capital goes, we are going digital. And some of these concepts, they flow into that. Where we relate now on a daily basis, we relate on the digital platform. You also need to know that. You need to know how to relate with people. You need to know how to manage yourself still within the very same public platforms.
Yeah. You are a product of a single parent family.
Yeah.
But you emphasize the importance of family.
Yeah.
You say family first.
Yeah.
Are there some lessons learned from your personal experience that you're trying to bring to the attention of the reader?
Yes. You see, I'm one person that interrogates whatever that I don't understand or whatever that I feel that I'm under attack from. You get it? So some of these things are the things that I could have experienced, the needs that I might have had, and felt that otherwise, if things were like this, then chances are that things could be like this. And in I trying to find solutions or discover why could things be like this, in trying to fill in the void or the need within me, I get to learn that this is how things are. Mind you, coming from the West is not like coming from the good. When you come from the West, you've got nothing to lose. But you appreciate as you propagate towards the better end.
Yeah, but you're still talking in generalities. I thought you'd bring it home and say, I experienced this, and here is my specific lessons that I've learned that I'm communicating to the reader.
Oh, okay. I think then that one now then goes to the book. All right. Now that one goes to the book because if you go further into the books now, especially this one, Father and Son, I came out clear on a lot of things. All right, it's conversation between father and son. I expressed the needs of a son. You get it? So, and I try to pick up a lot of things because here's the thing. Here's a problem that I have, Mogobe. I deal with people, and I avoid by all means to try and make my problems unique. All right, I throw it to you so that within that you identify yourself. I throw you in a room and you'll pick your own box. And say, this is the room that you're in. This is the room of need. What's my need? But if you go into a room of need and I've shown you that this is where the need is, my need, not your need, my need, you may now do what? Miss your own need.
No, I'm with you. So you in other words, you capacitate the reader.
I capacitate the reader. I'm a thought-provoking author and speaker. I provoke your thoughts to bring you to attention to a certain reality that is there and exposing you to you.
Okay. In regard to these two books, there's a lot of talk on masculinity. And if you go on social media, there's a trend now to talk of a thing called toxic masculinity. What exactly is that? And are we understanding it correctly?
When we talk of toxic masculinity, you see, and I think I'm going to get into trouble with this with many organizations, really. Look, there's no toxic masculinity. There's masculinity. Right? There's no good parent. There's a parent. A lot of times we identify what we feel this is toxic masculinity because we are trying to drive a certain perspective of our thought or of how we want to perceive things. There are standards that have been set out there. There is masculinity, which is there. What is basically there is lack of understanding of masculinity and the passions of masculinity. There is no toxic masculinity. Even those that are saying there's toxic masculinity, these are people that even themselves don't have the capacity to contain or withstand masculinity. So if I do not understand you, Mogobe, where you stand, how do you think I'm going to engage with you? So possibly there's going to be a clash. I do not understand myself in terms of regulating how I manifest myself. And as I try to manifest myself, you don't know how to handle me in manifestation of myself. So I can stand in my defensive position and say that you are toxic. The question is, am I really toxic, or you do not understand what I'm actually trying to do?
So you see it just as a label being thrown around.
It's just a label being thrown around that is not being understood, and that is just being thrown out to innocent souls, as always. And our communities just swallow it as it is without interrogating it. There was a season where feminism was thrown around. Everyone cruised with feminism. Everyone went, I'm a feminist, I'm a superwoman. Ask them, what does it mean? They don't understand. Even those that came up with the term feminism, they actually understood what they were trying to bring to the table. But those that did not understand it took advantage of it.
And misinterpreted it. Okay. Do you talk anything here about the so-called alphabet community, LGBTQ, etc.? Is it some of their issues? Do you delve into them?
I'm very firm. I'm very firm. When I talk about issues of men, I don't beat about the bush. There is where I wrote, I think, about homosexuality, where I said, son, do not sell your soul for a morsel of bread.
Do not sell your
soul for a morsel of bread. All right? And you see, even when I talk about this, I even change my face, because there's a time that I even wish to address our community and our society. Look, well and good. You may have people that are born that engage in homosexual acts. That's not the business that I'm on about in there. All right? They have got people that will advocate for that there. But I have an issue with the homosexuality that we're speaking about in there. Is the homosexuality where many young men and boys find themselves engaging in homosexuality because of their financial statuses, or because of issues where they try to ensure that they uplift their lifestyles. And by the so-called powerful people in the society. All right? A lot of sons are engaging in this homosexual acts on the basis of trying to get money or get a lifestyle. So that is what I preach against. We say, nigga, you gotta be strong enough such that you ensure that if you don't have bread, if it means you going and opening up a car wash, then go do that. And then being subjected to a state where somebody will say, you know what, my guy, I can give you a tender when you are sleeping. I've personally had an experience where I've been to offices and guys will tell you, man, you are very intelligent. Hey, if I fall into that
trap,
then I'm gone. Then I would rather suffer as a being trying to reach my goal. Peradventure one day I will hit an opportunity where I sit down and speak to an investor and somebody invests, and I get that which I want.
So are you implying that this whole the alphabet community has somehow been hijacked by economic issues, where people are now abusing other people for economic reasons?
Yeah, it's something that we cannot dispute. I mean, we live in a community, and everybody knows that. Such that within the concept that has been set, within that, there are people that are taking advantage of that.
And you, as a speaker, as an author, you want to communicate to our community, watch out.
All I'm saying is, in all that we are doing, are we protecting masculinity? On what basis is this that we are doing propagating life? On this that we are doing, are we hating someone along the way? In this what we are doing, am I infringing on your own freedoms finding you there?
You may be familiar with the recent court cases where the certain sections of the penal code are being challenged.
Yeah.
And churches were saying to the government that they should not amend the law to comply with some of these judgments or to suit certain judgments or agendas.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
My take on that, because I'm entitled to my own opinion, and I subscribe to the Christian community. I subscribe to certain principles in life. All right. So the court case is a court case there. The judge is the judge there. All right. And it was an issue between two people, two organizations or two entities. All right. Where I stand, where I was brought up, these are not things that I've ever experienced. But even in the Bible, these are things that I've never really come across and to be endorsed. All right. And historically, where they come from, even in the Bible, they are things that I've actually read about and what they were used for. Where I've learned about homosexuality, even in the past wars, it was something that it was a lifestyle that was used to demean those that you would have conquered, to emasculate them. Even in the slave farms, these are some of the things that were actually done to emasculate.
Some were made eunuchs.
Some were made eunuchs. But the kind of life I've subscribed to is the life of productivity, the life of multiplication. All right, the life of encouraging masculinity in the sense that you build high value men. But then you come to me and tell me that there are certain people that are born, they feel really they don't have control of it, emotional, the chemical imbalance in the body, the biological thing. There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. You are born a Mogobe, there's the chemical imbalance within you, the hormonal imbalance. It's not something you can talk out of a person. If there is medication...
But you are saying we shouldn't normalize it.
If a person comes biologically, they're like that. If you can't treat it, then how are you going to deal with it?
Yeah.
But I have a problem with somebody that says because they've been frustrated with a particular relationship and there is money there, they're all of a sudden saying that I'm gay. Because I see that there is money in there. No, let me just decide. I have a problem with that. So personally, I have a problem with that. Yeah. My culture does not allow that. Where I read from does not allow that. And unless maybe you can come to me with a different theory and try to page, I'm open. If you can come to me and say, okay, fine, let me convince you otherwise on this basis, I'm willing to listen. But not that listening is not that I will accept what you're saying.
We work with lawyers, the human rights component, which they keep arguing. And even in the case, there was a talk of human rights and so on.
Human rights are human rights, but from my understanding and from my education as I learn my BSc in law and policy, I've done human rights in my first semester. I've been told about rights and responsibilities. And in you condoning all the rights and responsibilities, there is something that I pride myself with, or that African societies pride themselves with. These are principles. These are values, societal and community values that people have. So I'm a package of that. I cannot single out human rights on their own, but I will still sit down and say, but I've got what? I've got principles, I've got values, cultural values, societal values, as well as religious values.
That makes sense. Your latest book, sir, Shallow Grave. Just the title. Before we talk about what it's about, let's explain the title.
Shallow Grave. I had to pick. My titles are graphic. Shallow Grave. As the word says, as the title says, imagine, I usually say this, a grave is a place that is meant to give dignity to that which would have died. A grave still in other platforms could be a platform where a seed is thrown in, covered and protected. It's a place of protection to avoid premature delivery to the outer forces that may misuse or destroy the dignity of such an item that would have been buried. So a shallow grave. Our parenting, many of our mothers, they find themselves in a platform where they parent a lot of boys, they put them under their armpits or under their feathers in a bid to cover them up and protect them. But in actual fact, they have not really covered them much, but they're exposing them to destruction. In a shallow grave, in a grave that has not been dug deep in, it's very easy for vultures to actually identify from a greater altitude and say there's something that has been buried. And they can actually go in, pull that which has been buried, pull a leg, leave the rest, and the hyenas will come and take the rest. All of a sudden, then we have parts of that which has been buried out there, exposed and smelly.
Yes.
At a later date, because this was not on the onset given a dignified protection or burial. Masculinity is experiencing that. Masculinity is given platforms where it has been buried in platforms where it has been thought that these are platforms.
Yeah, when you say that, I'm looking at the subtitle.
Yeah.
Echoes of Lamentations of Sons to Mothers.
Yes. Echoes of Lamentations. And echo is repeated sound.
It reverberates.
It reverberates.
Yeah.
Reverberates over a distance, over time. A lamentation is a cry. Is someone trying to express their pain? Is someone trying to express an inner cry? So sons are out there trying to express these inner cries, but the cries are not really a deliberate shedding of tears. Some of these are in the act. Some of these are only proven and evident or emulsify as they are out there and the adults.
You use big words like exodium. What does that mean?
Exodium just means the introduction.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Piolo Lumumba.
Yeah.
He's the one that motivated, I think, my speaking as well as my writing.
Yeah.
You take your Joshua Maponga. Those are my people.
Yeah, they use big words.
Yeah.
But obviously, this is a 2023 book.
Yeah.
What sparked it, and why do you think this cries, these lamentations of the boy child need to come out?
We did father and son, and I usually say that a son is not just a product of a mother alone. There's a father involved. So okay, fine. Deliberately, I spoke to the father, but then I also need to speak to the mother. All right, and we have got. On a daily basis, every bad thing that happens in the society, it's from sons. And sons, I'm not talking of kids. You, Mogobe, you are a son to someone. Within every elder man, there is a son there is a son within them. So this son is trying to express everything. He's trying to express himself through every day we express ourselves. But the issue is, how then do we decide to express ourselves? So all these social ills that we see are a lamentation. But has anyone really sat down and said, you see, these people are this masculinity is lamenting. What are we doing about it? Give me any fund that is for men right now. Give me any high value man or any high value company that is out there that can pour money and say, Tumelo, here we see you have a vision for men. We are giving you $1 million. Run with this.
Has the focus on the girl child been so distorted or disproportionate?
It's very disproportionate. It's been distorted. The women empowerment has been distorted. Give me even any high tea and ask any woman that has gone there.
Have they interpreted it as men's disempowerment?
Exactly.
What do you mean? Because
here's the thing. I'm a speaker. The people that even host this women empowerment, we even know them. These very same people that even advocate for women, we even know them. A majority of them, it may not be all. A majority of them are just platforms of expressing anger against the other gender. Show me any that has been constructive where they literally sat down and they were building each other. Where they were building families, where they were building women to become women that were competitive in the marketplace in their true sense and true nature without actually competing with the men.
Well, there might be one or two examples, but I'm not going to mention names.
Mind you, I say it's not all of them. They are a select few which are of course right. But majority of these, we see where there is no really deliberate, defined intent to say that these women have gone there. I'm of this notion. Right now, you take we are empowering the girl child, and all that you do is we think that empowering the girl child is giving them sanitary pads. Those are necessary. But what do we do about their mindset? Have we built them to actually
There's a statement here which can be seen as controversial. Completely break the female horse until she becomes very gentle, whereas you or anybody can ride her in comfort. Braid the mare and the stud until you have the desired offspring. Then you can turn the stud to freedom until you need him again.
Continue and read where that is.
Train the female horse whereby she will eat out of your hand, and she will in turn train the infant horse to eat out of your hand also. When it comes to breaking the uncivilized nigger, use the same process, but vary in degree and step. Who are you quoting here?
Continue. It's just short. It's short.
Up the pressure to do a complete reversal of the mind. Therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring in its early years of development. And when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you. For her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. This is from Willie Lynch, the Willie Lynch letter, How to Make African American Slaves for 1,000 Years.
Exactly.
Every man needs a mentor.
That's a different book. You are reading a quote from the Willie Lynch letter. This is a guy that he was a slave master from the West Indies, I think, and then he was called into the slave farms in America. This guy, he was brought in for one solid purpose: to teach them how to make a slave that lasts for 1,000 years. All right. The number one principle was to ensure that you separate the man from the woman. All right? And ensure that you control the woman. And ensure that psychologically she breaks or she does what we call a psychological reversal or mental reversal. That is, you emasculate. You use the very same woman to emasculate the male child. All right? When you have this male child emasculated at a young age, they usually say, this is what Adolf Hitler was saying, give me a child at 5 and I will make everything I want out of him. That is, I will make a perfect soldier out of him. The best time to indoctrinate any son or any male child is when the child is very young. The primitive years. What then happens? After you then emasculate this person, you then ensure that you deliver the emasculated son to us. You deliver this son to us. Us now, it may not be the slave master, but it is what now in this modern day, it is the world. Let's ensure that we push a mandate that we push the mandate that women feel that they're okay alone and they can have a child whoever that they want. However they want, out of a Facebook post, or because they want to take a photograph which says that 1 year old with Tumelo, my son. It seems cool and nice. A woman at the heat of a relationship or romance, she can say, hey, Tumelo, I need your child. I need a child. Let's have a child. If that is just in the heat of the moment, and that's where a lot of kids are being born. We have got a lot of kids that are products of romance.
Okay,
let me conclude it.
Yes.
So now the problem then comes here. You then have this kid. The kid does not have the father. When they talk of the horse, they are talking of the male man. All right. the male man is not there. You only use him for mating. You only consider having a man when you need him to impregnate you. This is why we have now even gone to sperm donors. It's not an issue of now having the interest of the son or the relationship. Have this man to impregnate you, and then you keep this child. With this child, ensure that you breed up this child. One, you don't know how to raise up a male man. You have never experienced male love. You have never seen a male man and a female, which is your mother and a father in one platform, nurturing you and stuff. So you don't know what a man needs and what he. All you are going to breed, the kind of man you are going to breed him with your own understanding or what you see trending in the social media. This is what they say: feed her from the hand. From the hand is anything that trends. Our women in our day and age, they feed or they live off.
Let me be simplistic by asking you now that slavery has been abolished long ago.
Yeah.
What's the relevance of this thinking and where is it being applied?
Slavery has not been forgone. Nobody has actually. It's just that it keeps on changing form. It's just like colonization. It just keeps on changing form. On a daily basis, with every generation, it's more like a virus. It does not die, but it keeps on mutating and changing form. All right. So I was applying that into the modern society to say that this is why I was giving reason now to why we have got a lot of single parent families. All right. Not all of them. Okay, fine. Some they may have it's due to natural events, maybe death. Some is just due to, but it's not every time that you can blame the male man. At times it's due to capacitation of the very same women that are our mothers. All right. And it's a conversation that we never really want to have.
So the slave master has been replaced by what?
So the slave master has been replaced by the systems that run the world. Yes.
Capitalism?
It could be capitalism. It could be your organizations. It's all about, you see, the world runs on media. And whoever that sponsors and pushes an agenda through media is the one that controls the mind.
and the media is telling the females that they don't need the males.
You don't need the males
to be successful.
You don't need a male to be successful. You don't need to raise. It's okay to raise up your son or your daughter without the male figure, without the father in their life.
And how pervasive, how strong is this thinking, and has it taken root?
It has taken a lot of root, and it has actually bred a forest, a thick, dense forest.
How do we undo it?
How do you undo it? We undo it by because these things have been financed. There are people that actually finance these messages, these lifestyles. Now, how we can undo it is by basically now embracing such people that come with messages like me, that try and say, look, we have a problem here. Let's look at this. Let's zoom into this. I may not be the only one, but there are a lot around the world.
Yes.
So bit by bit, they usually say that an ocean is made up of droplets that have come together, flowed into a river, and rivers that have actually flown into an ocean.
So we need to empower the Sitayelas, the Mopongas.
You need to empower them.
And the Lumumbas of this world.
Exactly.
And to take them seriously as to what they are saying.
Definitely.
Are there any practical steps that someone listening now can take?
Yes, practical steps. It all comes to, you see, at some point in time when you feel that you are under attack, even in security, you need to, whenever you are under attack, you need to really establish all that you have. All right, your position. You need to be honest about yourself. Where am I lacking? Where are my blind spots? Where am I possibly being attacked? All right, and then you by all means try to find means to fortify that, to strengthen and increase your capacity. All healing and change comes from understanding.
Oh, by the way, it wasn't Hitler, it was Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah.
Give me first 5 years of the child and we'll be
It's Lenin. Lenin. Yeah.
Now, let's apply this to Botswana specifically.
Yeah.
What are you doing yourself personally and collectively to raise awareness about this?
Yeah, I've been in a couple of spaces. Like I said, it's a subject that I'm particular about, that I love so much. I love empowering people, and of late I've taken really a turn to really empower families, empower both genders, all right, in their position as they try to understand and rescue masculinity. So, one, I sell these books, and I don't just sell. I sell and engage with my customers. I have platforms where I just sit, engage with them, even before you can actually buy the book, and for you to see the need of it. But then I have a desire to go around the world, to go around the country, in fact, have more of these talks. Have your Mogobe, you see, let me buy 100 copies of this. Advance your mandate. How can you do that? And then I'll give you a detailed plan. This is what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going. Yeah. But where we are standing, I mean, even our president is talking about the mindset change, and then he's talking of the knowledge-based economy. But these are beautiful statements. But the question then is, are we really deliberate? Show me in all years where we have really funded such projects. Show me in all years where we've really called in or identified people of substance. In other words,
we should put their money where their mouths are.
We need to put the money where the mouth. Exactly.
Have these been launched already? I mean, this latest one.
Yeah, it's out. It does a month. It does a month now, and it's up in the market.
Yeah. Where do people find them? These books.
Right now, you just contact me. I'm there on social media, active every day. Tumelo Sitayela. You go on Insta, it's Honorable Sitayela. And then my personal number is 77384309.
Is that WhatsApp?
77384309. That's WhatsApp. You wish to engage. It's not about just buying the book. It's all also about engaging. If you just wish to engage, I'm also open. Like I said, I'm not a maestro. I don't claim the monopoly of wisdom, as I said. If you wish to bring a concept across me and say, but I heard you say this, but this is how I see things.
You're open-minded. You want to engage.
I'm open-minded. I want to engage. And if you want a partner and let's see how we can impact the masses, then I'm all open.
Yeah, but what's the long-term vision or plan? If I was to give you a couple of decades, what can we see at the end of that period?
At the end of that period, I want to be... the idea is not becoming popular. But the idea I want to have a decade from now, I want people in that species to be referencing and quoting something from my books. To say, one day there was an author that said this. We are where we are because we followed a path that was a blueprint that was set by this particular gentleman. Had it not been of this particular gentleman, we would have not bred more Tumelos. So the long-term plan, I wish to get my books across the world. I want my books to be read across the world. I wish to sit in platforms where policies are made.
So do you see yourself speaking internationally?
Yeah, I see myself speaking internationally, and where a chance comes, I will definitely become one of the listed presidents in this land in history.
Wow. Wow. Are there any political ambitions somewhere down the line?
Yeah, I believe that in future I'll definitely find myself there. Definitely, I'll find myself there.
Okay. Yeah. So, you think you'll be better able to influence policy and to impact the community if you are a politician?
Not really a politician. Not really a politician. But if I find myself in the platform, given a chance, I'll do that.
Why you mean not really a politician?
Because people believe that being in the seat, that's when you'll have influence. You can be given a seat and you're just the same guy that was there in the streets, but just chowing the money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, but then again, like I said, in this trajectory, given a chance, and I get there and mistakenly I'm sneaked in the power structures and I find myself there. Trust me.
It won't be a mistake. It has to be deliberate.
Yeah, much of the time, you see, some regret something.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can find yourself, where we are standing, I could just be, you don't know who is watching the podcast.
Yeah.
The chances are that you could find that his order the president is watching, is saying like, you know what, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Can you come over here? You can find that.
And then he starts looking for a position where he can squeeze you in.
Yeah, where he can squeeze me in. Tomorrow you hear that I'm an advisor somewhere. I'm a minister of this. Tomorrow you hear that I have a position somewhere, and all of a sudden I'm a vice president. Who knows? Yeah, you gotta dream big.
Right. Now this is a chance you get to ask me a question, sir.
Ramo, what would you want to be remembered for when it's all said and done and you are giving your last breath?
It's hard to answer that question without referring to what I live for.
Yeah.
I've tried to simplify it. to energize, enthuse, to inspire, and to empower.
Yeah.
So if I can succeed empowering my family in that regard and my community, and if I can succeed in somebody saying that he tried to live his purpose, that will be sufficient.
Yeah.
I'm about to launch my book, which is more like my memoir.
Okay.
So if you want to have deeper insights about that, please follow me on my socials to make sure that when the book is launched, you are there to get it.
Definitely, I will be there. I'll be there to also even critique it.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And what are you... I know I'm allowed to ask one question, but just this one. And then, what do you wish to achieve with this podcast, especially with the people that you bring on the podcast? Because I don't believe that it's an issue of... I don't want to believe that it's an issue of having content and episodes.
Well, it's a combination. It's good to have good content.
Yeah.
But if you see, our entrepreneurship culture has been really at a low ebb. Yeah. Part of the reason I launched this was to try and promote entrepreneurship as an idea, as a concept. To make it sexy, as it were. And I think in the quality of entrepreneurs, I've invited people such as yourself and others. Because it's not just entrepreneurs, it's intrapreneurs as well. I think it's living to its purpose. Promote entrepreneurship, improve the ecosystem, make it sexy to be an entrepreneur, and have it something that is desirable. The same way when we're little, I want to be a doctor here, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a pilot. I want somebody to say, I want to be a businessman. I want to start a business because I heard so and so on Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast promoting entrepreneurship, and I know I can impact community better. In fact, as an entrepreneur more than as a professional. That's the idea behind it. And I think it's beginning to bear fruit. It's beginning to bear fruit.
Lovely.
Okay. Final concluding supporting message for the viewer. So if you can just look at that camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, as already announced, it has been announced, my name is Tumelo Sitayela. I'm an author and a speaker, thought provoker, and someone that is really passionate about making the next man or woman better in the society. So all I can say to you is, look, never look down upon yourself. Anything that comes upon your mind, never think that it is small or less, or it cannot be recognized. And don't do things for you to be recognized by a select few. It may take years, but one day you'll come up as a person that would have done something so significant and fulfilling. One other thing is not about the people; it's about fulfilling yourself. Certain things you do them, and you find that you are fulfilled within. I may have written a book. To me, some people might have sold 1 million copies. For me, if I have sold 10, it could be fulfilling to me. So not all of us are meant to be millionaires. Not all of us are meant to be having these lavish lifestyles, but we gotta be content. My plea to you is, where you see an idea that is worth it and can advance humanity and the world, and you have the means to ensure that it is propelled into greater levels and greater heights, then why not? Give it a shout, give it support. And you always not have to be known that you are pushing a particular idea or dream, which is the problem that we are having in our community and society. But otherwise, big ups, Mogobe, thank you. And thank you for whatever you're doing to Botswana. You're one of the amazing people. You're giving a chance to a dream. You're giving a chance to ideas. We believe that people are seeing out there. And they're not just seeing anything. They're seeing seeds. You are not a shallow grave, sir. I believe in that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Cheers.
You've been a wonderful guest.
It's been.
I take you to give him.
Follow me on Facebook, Tumelo Sitayela. Engage with me there. My WhatsApp number and direct line is 77384309. If you need a copy, you just link up with me on those platforms, and I can assist you. Shallow Grave is out there in the market. That's the latest baby in the market, and I wish that you can actually read it. These are awesome books, beautiful books that you wouldn't want to miss out on. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, and I love you.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
Yeah.